Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to talk about sizing your flowers, and so I have a little sizing guide that you can use to help you make the flowers that you want in the particular size that you want. And so there's a certain range, and just to start I have template number 13 cut out. And so with my templates, usually I have hexagon bases that go with it. This is just sort of a recommendation that you can use the hexagon bases, but you can use circular bases or any other type of polygon that you want. So for template 13, with my templates I usually include a different range of sizes, and so it usually goes from 3-inch wide to 8-inch wide, and that's in 1/2-inch increments. So generally, what I think of a small size flower, it's usually 5 to 8 inches. A medium flower is usually 8 to 12 inches. A large flower would be 12 to 16 inches, and then an extra large size flower is usually anything up beyond that. And so that's just the basics. This is how I typically see different flower sizes, but obviously that changes depending on which templates you're using or what you consider a large or small or medium. And so to start, I will use the small as an example. So for the small size flower, with a small size flower, I use the 3-inch wide, the 3.5-inch wide, and then the 4-inch wide petals with the 4-inch wide hexagon. And so if you make it kind of like I have in the template tutorial video, you'll get a flower like this, about this size. And to measure it, I have a tape measure here, and it's about 7 inches if you use the 3-inch hexagon, or if you just use the same size petal for each layer, you'll get a smaller flower. So I say the range is 5 to 8 inches. You can play around to get a smaller flower of this style. So next we'll have the medium size, and so I think medium size is about 8 to 12 inches, any range from there. And for this particular flower, what I used was a 5-inch wide base with 4-inch wide, 4.5-inch wide, and then 5-inch wide petals with this 5-inch base. So that was to use a medium-sized flower, and to measure it, it's about 10 inches, and so you still have some room there. You can play around with a different base or just go higher in petal sizes. So I'll stack these here. The next size would be the large size. So typically I like this size. It's a comfortable size for me. I usually think 12 to 16 inches with the 14-inch diameter being like a great size flower. You can mix it doesn't look too big and it doesn't look too small. So with this flower, I used a 6-inch wide base with the 5-inch wide, 5.5-inch wide, and then 6 inches wide along with the 6-inch wide base. So these 3 petal layers, and the sizes with this base can get you a flower about this. This big, and then of course this style. So the last size would be an extra large size, which is here. Now this one I purposely made it a little bit smaller because it is quite a big large rose. I'll measure it first. So it's about 15 to 16 inches wide, which I think is the smallest size for what I think a extra large flower is. And for this, I used a 7-inch wide base with 6-inch wide, 6.5-inch wide, and then 7-inch wide petal. And so here you can get a flower about this size. And these are fairly big. I think it's great to mix maybe one large flower or just a few larger flowers, or in this case extra large size, plus a lot of other smaller flowers around it for a great arrangement. But this is 16 inches, and I think anything 16 up is a great large size. So I've made flowers before where I've used the 8-inch base along with the 7-inch wide, the 7.5-inch wide, and then the 8-inch wide flower, and I got something about 20 to 22 inches wide, which is fairly large. When you get to there, I would say to use a cardboard base because your flower will start falling due to all the weight of the petals. But that usually makes a great extra large flower. So aside from using this sizing guide, another way that you can use a little bit of math to get the flower sizes that you want. Let's say that you wanted a flower that was specifically 14 inches wide. What you can do is you can pick out a certain base. Let's say I wanted to use a 6-inch wide base. So I know that the base is 6 inches wide. What I can do then is I know that if I want a 14-inch flower, I can have 8 inches between the two petals that I will glue around here. But because I'm also gluing, because also you cut a slit and then you glue the petal, it shortens the height, plus also you glue it in the base rather than on the very edge. You do lose a little bit of height there, and so I want something that is maybe a 5-inch or maybe 6-inch tall petal. So if I measure again with my measuring rope, this is about 5.5. I might want to go just a little bit higher for maybe a 5.5-inch wide petal, and there it's about 6 inches. So what I can do is, now that I know that this will make a 6-inch wide plus another 6 plus another 6 inches, in total that is 18 inches. So just to be clear, 6 inches wide here, 6 inches approximately here, and then another 6 inches, which will be on this side, will give me 18 inches. But I only want 14 inches in terms of the total diameter of the flower. I can use this to, I can first cut it and glue the two bottom pieces, the flaps, together, and then when I'm gluing it, I can measure it so that when I glue the two pieces together, I know that I just need a 14-inch diameter, and I can glue it specifically rather than on the very edge, which would give me a wider flower. I can glue it maybe closer towards the center so that it's a smaller width overall. If you think that's a little bit too much, you can also play with this 5-inch petal, and then you would also probably glue it closer to the edge to get 14 inches. So that's a way that you can use just a little bit of math. I am trying to write on my petals the height dimension as well. I usually do the width dimension, but that helps you size your flowers appropriately. I do have a part 2 of this video coming up on showing you how you can mix and match different hexagons, bases, and also the petal shapes to get different looking flowers. Stay tuned for that. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.